Good evening.
Good evening.
Today's date is October the 8th, the year 2024, and we are here for the regular scheduled board meeting of the Richland 1 School Board of Commissioners. We are located at 1616 Richland Street, Columbia, South Carolina 29201, which is the Stevenson Administration Building. I'd like to read a statement, and then we'd love to go into the agenda for tonight. Pursuant to the Freedom of Information Act, FOIA, all persons, organizations, and media outlets, as requested, have been notified of the time, date, place, and agenda of this meeting. Now, the time is 6:01, and the agenda stated a start time of 6 p.m. We do have an executive session agenda set before us. Before I read into the public awareness of what the set forth agenda has been, I would like to entertain a motion to go into executive session.
Move to go into executive session.
Second.
It's been moved by Commissioner Devine, second by Commissioner Harris. Question or discussion? Seeing none, hearing none, we'll now cast our vote. And we will do it manually. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? The ayes have it. Under Office of Human Resources, we have item 3.01, which is HR personnel update. Item 3.02, hiring of personnel. With that being said, that will be our executive session agenda, which we will be discussing. No objection, let us go into executive session. Good evening.
Good evening.
Today's date is Tuesday, October 8th of the year 2024. This is a regular scheduled board meeting of the Richland 1 Board of Commissioners here at the Stevenson Administration Building, a location of 1616 Richland Street, Columbia, South Carolina. Pursuant to the Freedom of Information Act, FOIA, all persons, organizations, and media outlets, as requested, have been notified of the time, date, place, and agenda of this meeting. I would like to advise everyone that at the time of 6:01, 6 o'clock and 1 minute, there was a motion by Commissioner Devine and a second by Commissioner Harris for us to go into executive session. That vote was 6-0. We did go in there and discuss the agenda items that was discussed prior to going into the meeting. At the time of 6:11, there was a motion by Commissioner Devine and a second by Commissioner Clyburn for us to come out of the executive session and go to public session, and it was a 6-0 vote. Both motions did pass. We're now here to call the public session of our meeting to order. We do have an agenda set before us, and the first item on that agenda is item 5.01, which is invocation by Commissioner Cheryl Harris.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Let us pray. Lord, on tonight we come before you thanking you for your goodness, your grace, your mercy, and your love. Lord, we come before you thanking you for your protection over our district, over our children, over our faculty staff, your protection over our community as a whole. Lord, we thank you for your guidance. We thank you for your grace. And on tonight, God, we ask that you bless this meeting on tonight, that we make decisions that are in the best interest of the children that we serve. And Lord, as we leave this place, we ask that you protect us as we travel back to our several destinations. And it's these blessings that we ask in your name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Commissioner Harris, for your prayer, your thoughts, and meditation. Also, we thank you for your service to Richland County's 2 District 1, as well as Richland County and beyond. We're now at item 5.02, which is agenda adoption. What's the pleasure of the board?
Move for approval, Mr. Chairman.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Devine, second by Commissioner Harris. Any question or discussion about the agenda? Seeing none, hearing none, we will now cast our vote electronically. All right. We are going to have to do it manually. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? The ayes have it. 7-0 vote. All commissioners are seated for tonight's meeting. We now have item 5.03, which is the school board spotlight, which is presented by Commissioner Clyburn and Commissioner Devine.
Thank you, Chairman Bishop. Richland 1 is proud to have many talented employees who are committed to doing their jobs effectively and efficiently, including our bookkeepers. Tonight, we will recognize this year's winners of the Diane Harlan Bookkeeping Awards. Director of Accounting, Arnett Madison Edmond from the District's Office of Financial Services will come forward to tell us more about the awards and introduce the honorees. Accounting Supervisor Kimberly Stroud will make the presentations with assistance from Student Activities with assistance from Student Activity Accountant Cynthia Johnson.
Good afternoon, Chairman, Dr. Bishop, Board of School Commissioners, and Dr. Witherspoon. It is a pleasure tonight to present to you the Diane Harlan Bookkeepers Award for fiscal year 23-24. Ms. Harlan was a student activity auditor in financial services for approximately 9 years. This award was named in her honor when she passed away in 1984. The district had approximately $2.7 million of expenditures that passed through the district's student activity accounts during fiscal year 2024. Tonight, awards are presented to 3 individuals who demonstrated the standards set by Ms. Harlan. Ms. Sherry Matthew Hazel, she's there. Kim Stroud, Financial Service Supervisor, and Ms. Cynthia Johnson, Student Activity Accountant, will assist in presenting awards and congratulating the recipients of the Diane Harlan Award for Excellence in Bookkeeping. Please come forward as I call your name to receive your award and a small token of our appreciation for a job well done. Any family members in the audience may also stand at that time. Ms. Margaret Black, Dreher High School. Mr. Eberlin, Junior Principal of Dreher. Ms. Gail Harms, Creighton Middle School. Ms. Angela Burns, Principal. Lastly, Ms. Darnetta Brown of Arden Elementary School could not be here tonight, but we also want to recognize her at this time. Yes, so you can take a picture. Yes. Let's give them another round of applause for a job well done.
Was. Okay. Thank you all and congratulations. Richland 1 has received the highest honors in financial reporting and accounting from the Government Finance Officers Association and the Association of School Business Officials International for the annual comprehensive financial report for the fiscal year ending June 30th, 2023. This is the 36th consecutive year the district has received the highest form, this highest form of recognition in the areas of governmental accounting and financial reporting. The district must have a clean audit report or unqualified opinion to qualify for these national awards. This attainment represents a significant accomplishment by the Richland 1 Board of School Commissioners and its management team. Will Chief Financial Officer Sherry Matthews Hazel, Director of Accounting Arnett Madison Edmond, and any CFO staff who are present, please come forward.
Great job, congratulations.
Yes.
Great job, great job. There you go.
No, the
There
whole
you go.
team.
Let's have the awards come from a little bit, and everybody else kind of squeeze in behind them. So yes, Ms. Patton says it. That way we can all kind of stay seated.
Thank you all and congratulations.
All right, does that conclude our school board spotlight?
That includes the school board spotlight.
All right, thank you so much for recognizing so many of our great leaders. And thank you, Dr. Witherspoon. You have anything to say at this point?
Absolutely. Thank you, Dr. Bishop, members of the board. Certainly, congratulations to our bookkeepers. As was stated, in support of schools and student activities and the like, a lot of our funds do run through those bookkeepers at our schools, and we appreciate their efforts and diligence in what they do for the recognition that we have. And that's a part of what gets announced every year. I know at the finance and the bookkeepers meetings at the beginning of the year when they're given their direction, if you will. And to our finance department, 36 years, we appreciate the work that entire shop does in managing budgets, making sure things are done properly and in order, and when and where tweaks may need to occur, they do that and continue to move forward in support of effective and efficient operations. So congratulations to our finance team. Mr. Chair.
All right, thank you. We're now going to item 6.01, which is public participation. No one signed up to speak at this time, as well as there were no submissions. We're now going to move down to the consent agenda with no objection. We'll read both of those in. If you have any questions about any of those two items, feel free to raise your hand so I can acknowledge you. Item 7.01, which is the minutes, September 24, 2024. 7.02, contract extension, Mastery Connect software subscription. What's the pleasure of the board?
Move for approval.
Second.
Been moved by Commissioner Harris, second by Commissioner Myers. Question or discussion? Seeing none, hearing none, electronically? We'll now cast our vote electronically. 7. All right. Should we do a All right, here we go. 7-0 vote. The motion passed. Ayes have it. Now, under Office of Operations, with no objection from the board, the ones that are listed as action items, want to read those in together. Again, as stated before, you can question any one of those that are being read in for action, as well as be advised that these same items were vetted during committee meetings and reviewed. But if there are some further questions, feel free to raise your hand, and you will be acknowledged to have any of your questions answered. So therefore, with no objection, 8.01, first reading of policy IJNDB, use of technology resources in instruction, and then 8.03, first reading of policy IJKA, technology resource selection and adoption, and then 8.04, first reading of policy GBEBD, use of technology. What's the pleasure of the board?
Move for approval, Mr. Chairman.
Second.
Been moved by Commissioner Devine, second by Commissioner Myers. Any questions about these policies? Seeing none, hearing none, we'll now cast our vote. All those in, well, we do electronically?
Yeah.
All right, let's cast our vote electronically. The 7-0 vote, the ayes have it. Now we will go back to item 8.02, which is information item, administrative rule IJNDB-R, acceptable use of technology. And then we will also bring forth for question 8.05, information administrative rule GBEBD-R, use of technology. Is there any questions at this time for these items? Okay, Commissioner Lomanak.
Thank you, Chairman Bishop. I mentioned this at the committee meeting, and I wanted to mention it here as well. The administrative rule GBEBD, I think it's a good idea that we have broken out the acceptable use policy and separating employees from students. I don't think that many teachers and employees would appreciate the way the rule is written. I don't think we need to remind teachers that they can't use computers for gang activity or to sell drugs or to do things like that. And I think this is one of those blind spots that we sometimes have, much like I've complained about the welcome letter in the handbook, which is anything but welcoming. I think we need to cut all of that stuff out. It doesn't protect us in any way. If a teacher uses the computers for illegal purposes, it can be dealt with. It doesn't have to be written in that way. And I think it's, I just think it sets the wrong tone with our employees. So I think we should take all of that out. Thanks.
All right, no other questions? All right, thank you. We'll now go to item, under the items on the Office of Academics, which I'm gonna do the same as I did with the Office of Operations. Those action items, with no objection, will be 9.01, first reading policy IHCB, international study and travel programs and foreign exchange travel study. Then we also have first reading of policy IKADD, content and credit recovery. Then item 9.05, first reading of policy IKFA, early graduation. What's the pleasure of the board?
Move for approval.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Myers, second by Commissioner Devine. Any questions about those items? Okay, seeing none, hearing none, we'll now cast our vote electronically. It is a 7-0 vote. The ayes have it. The motion passed. Now we'll go back to item 9.02, Information Administrative Rule IHCB-R, International Study Travel Programs and Foreign Exchange Travel Study. Also 9.04, Information Administrative Rule IKADD-R, Content and Credit Recovery. And then 9.06, Information Administrative Rule IKFA-R, Early Graduation. Any questions regarding any of these rules? Okay, seeing none, hearing none, we'll now move on to Office of Communications, which is item 10.01, first reading of policy KDC, District Sponsored Information Media. What's the pleasure of the board?
Move for approval.
Second.
Been moved by Commissioner Myers, second by Commissioner Devine. Question or discussion about item 10.01? Okay, seeing none, hearing none, we'll now cast our vote electronically.
Dana, will you vote yes for me? I'm doing an update.
It is a 7-0 vote. The ayes have it. Motion passed. We're now under Office of Chief of Staff, and we'll do what we did with the previous offices. We'll read in without objection. Item 11.01, first reading of policy JICI, weapons in school. Then 11.02, first reading of policy JKE, expulsion of students. What's the pleasure of the board?
Move for approval.
Second.
Been moved by Commissioner Harris, second by Commissioner Myers. Any question or discussion about those two items? Seeing none, hearing none, we'll now cast our vote. It is a 7-0 vote. The motion passed. We are now at item 11.03, which is Information Administrative Rule, JKE-R, expulsion of students. Any questions about this item? Seeing none, hearing none, we'll now move on. We're now under Office of Human Resources. Item 12.01, HR Personnel Update, presented by Dr. Kumas.
Good evening, Board Chair, Dr. Bishop, members of the Board of School Commissioners, Dr. Witherspoon. HR updates were provided in executive session as information. If you have any questions, I'll answer them at this time.
Any questions or discussions for Dr. Kumas at this time? Seeing none, hearing none, thank you, Dr. Kumas. We're now at item 12.02, hiring of personnel. Dr. Kumas.
Yes, sir, if it pleases the board. The administration recommends the hiring of all 8 teachers on the attached list for the 24-25 school year. The administration so recommends.
You heard the recommendation of the administration. What's the pleasure of the board?
Move for approval.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Harris, second by Commissioner Devine. Question or discussion? Seeing none, hearing none, we'll now cast our vote electronically. Yes, we do have a result of 7-0 vote. The ayes have it. Motion passed.
Mr. Kumas, can you tell us approximately how many teacher vacancies we have at this time?
Yes, sir. We approximately have 46 teaching vacancies at this time.
Very good. Thank you.
All right, thank you. All right, we're now going to the Office of the Superintendent. Item 13.01, Superintendent's Report. Dr. Witherspoon.
Thank you, Dr. Bishop, members of the board. Want to, first of all, say thank you to our schools, members of our departments, certainly facilities, security, IT, and the like, local businesses and community, as we dealt with the impact of Hurricane Helene last week, did impact some closures. We had power off and on in a number of schools or portions of schools, down trees, flooding in some areas that impacted normal school operations. We were able to get back to normal operations with a 2-hour delay on Wednesday. But a lot of members of Team Richland 1, again, while having dealt with power outages and some of those things at their particular homes and sites, still managed to get out and about, check our roads, check our schools and other departments for any damage that happened. And just want to publicly thank members of all departments, and schools included, because when we close and when we deal with those weather events, there's a lot that happens in the meantime while our staff is again dealing with the impact in their personal life. So thank you to again the many staff that has done it and has done that. As you know, we're monitoring certainly this next storm that's forthcoming as well. The South Carolina State Fair starts tomorrow, October 9th, and 30 Richland 1 art students have received honors and awards in the 2024 State Fair Art Competition. Richland 1 students competed in the 2D, 3D, and photography divisions. They were among approximately 240 K-12 students from across the state who were recognized for their artistic talent. Congratulations to our award-winning young artists. Their names and schools are posted on our website at richland1.org. For the second year in a row, 2 Richland 1 high schools have been named to College Board's AP School Honor Roll. The recognition program, which launched in 2023, celebrates schools whose AP programs are delivering the results for students while broadening access. The AP School Honor Roll offers 4 levels of distinction: bronze, silver, gold, and platinum. Congratulations to Dreher High School for earning the silver recognition, and congratulations to AC Flora High School for earning bronze recognition. The Richland County Recreation Commission announced that 7 Richland 1 student athletes have been nominated for the 2024 Richland County High School Football Player of the Year Award. Richland 1's Player of the Year nominees and schools they attend are Kevonte Bates, C.A. Johnson High School, Malachi Butler, Columbia High School, Allen Gardner Jr., Eau Claire High School, William Goodwin, Lower Richland High School, Willie Smith, Dreher High School, Michael Swinton, W.J. Keenan High School, and Trip Von Blake at AC Flora High School. The award winner will be announced in December. The winner will receive a $2,000 scholarship or college educational bundle, including an iPad and gift cards for their hard work and dedication on and off the field. Richland 1 has teamed up with Prisma Health again this year to fight the flu in our community. The district hosted the first of 2 drive-through flu shot clinics last Saturday, October 5th, at Lower Richland High School. The second flu shot clinic will be held Saturday, October 19th, from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. at Dreher High School. Free flu shots will be administered on a first-come, first-served basis to anyone 6 months and older. Persons who would like to receive flu shots should wear loose-fitting clothing that can easily roll up. Consent forms are required and will be available at the site. Children under 16 must have a consent form signed by a parent or guardian. A valid driver's license or another photo ID is required to receive the flu shot. We encourage you to take advantage of this opportunity to protect yourselves and your families against the flu. Additional information is posted on our website. 5 members of our administrative team have been selected for the South Carolina Department of Education's Institute for District Administrators. The program is designed to support entry-level district leaders with the knowledge, skills, and characteristics needed to serve on and lead highly effective district teams. Administrators selected will participate in 8 sessions prioritizing personalization, collective leadership, and equity and access to effective instruction. Congratulations to LaQuana Aldridge, Director of Elementary Education, Lemanuel Chandler, Multi-Tiered Systems of Support Instructional Coach, Dr. LaTorsha Cleckley, Elementary ELA Curriculum Consultant, Dr. Kutera Farr, Director of Professional Learning, and Dr. Tammy Smalls, Coordinator of Teacher Quality. Again, this year, Richland One has partnered with the City of Columbia to hold a food drive for Harvest Hope Food Bank, honoring the memory and legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. The food drive will be held November 11th through the 22nd. Collection boxes will be placed in our schools and administrative buildings. Donations of canned goods and other non-perishable food items will be accepted. Also, we are encouraging our students to apply for the City of Columbia's 2025 Dream Keeper Scholarship Awards. The scholarship program is open to Richland One elementary, middle school, and high school students. The Dream Keeper Award recognizes students who demonstrate a commitment to the ideals of social responsibility, political empowerment, diversity, racial harmony and nonviolence, and unselfish service through volunteer service. Scholarship applications must be postmarked by December 2nd. Additional information is posted on our website and the City of Columbia's website at columbiasc.gov. We have several educational related observances throughout the year, including quite a few in October. A highlighted Principals Month, Custodian Appreciation Day, and Coaches Day at our last board meeting, but I want to note a few others. October is National Dropout Prevention Month, which highlights initiatives focused on keeping students in school and on track towards earning their high school diplomas. October is also National Bullying Prevention Month, which raises awareness about bullying and bullying prevention and promotes kindness, acceptance, and inclusion. Next week, October 14 through 18, is National School Lunch Week, which promotes the importance of students receiving a healthy school lunch and the impact that it can make on a child's life inside and outside of the classroom. October is also Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and Friday, October 11th, will be Pink Out Day in Richland One. Everyone is encouraged to wear pink attire as a show of the district's support and solidarity in the fight against breast cancer. Post your pictures on social media using the hashtag R1PinkOut2024. The Prisma Health Midlands Foundation's Walk for Life and famously Hot Pink Half Marathon and 5K will be held on Saturday, October 12th at Segra Park. Several teams from Richland One schools and departments will be walking or running at this annual fundraising event. Thank you to everyone who will be participating and to everyone who has made a monetary donation. Dr. Bishop, members of the board, I do want to at this time have Mr. Henry come up and provide any updates with regard to our integrated pest management program and some of the things that that shop has been working on these last week or so. Mr. Henry.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Mr. Chair, Board Commissioners, Dr. Witherspoon. I'm happy to give an update on our integrated pest management plan and our integrated building management guideline as well. I believe at the last meeting, Commissioner Weston did talk about the new proviso that we are now living under the food retail inspection program. Just to give a little background, and I'll look out at Tracy Dixon. You let me know if I say anything wrong here. This is a program by which the old DHEC used to come in and do inspections in our kitchens. Everybody is familiar with the grades that you see when you walk in the door of a restaurant. A, B, hopefully nothing lower than that. Well, when DHEC split, and DHEC split into Department of Public Health, Department of Environmental Services, The food program was placed under SCDA, South Carolina Department of Agriculture. So a couple of weeks ago, there were some things placed on some social media. We received notification that we would receive a visit from SCDA, and we did. And it happened very, very quickly. We were not accustomed to what happened after that. The proviso that we're living under right now actually says, and I'll quote, "The agency's review of the premises shall include the entire physical facility where the school cafeteria is located." So what that means is everything on campus is now under the scrutiny of the food retail inspection that was previously only for the kitchen. So we have had a couple of visits. We have been learning from those visits. We have been, or Ms. Dixon has been requesting information on this new inspection program, if you will, since now it is spread out, not just in the kitchen, where in this case there was nothing found with this last inspection. However, things such as, and I quote, trash under the bleachers, ceiling tile not fitting, things that I would call fit and finish in a building have been pointed out to us. And let me say that there's nothing unreasonable about that. However, when we look at a campus the size of W.G. Sanders, which was a high school, then converted to a middle school, as I walked up here, I saw a couple of violations in this room. So any small area where a piece of conduit or a water pipe goes through a wall, if it's not snug enough, it is a violation. So you multiply that by tens of thousands of square feet, and you now understand where we're living with these types of inspections. Again, reasonable to ask. We're just struggling a bit with the time it takes to be able to respond to those types of new requests in this new program. So we have always had an integrated pest management program, and we had streamlined that at the beginning of 2024. We had some schools out there that we had to address. So we have that in place. The only thing that happened here is we were not notified that there was an issue at W.G. Sanders for us to respond to. Now, since we responded, we have found access points. We have found issues in certain back locations of the school. We have found clutter. We have found holes. We have found many things. Lots of things behind doors that folks, you know how folks store things and close the door, and things happen behind closed doors. So again, we're learning from that, and we have not changed our IPM program. The program was tailored under the Department of Pesticide Regulations, advice to me many years ago. And coincidentally, I have an audit coming this week from that agency. So we have no issue in addressing those things with the guidelines that we have in place. Oddly enough, the areas that were found were actually in violation of our building guidelines with too much clutter, too many things, too many food items, and alike. So we have the protocols in place, We just need to get back to following those very stringently everywhere in the district. So when you hear that Tracy Dixon has a rating of a B, well, it has nothing to do with Tracy Dixon's area. It could have something to do with what's happening in the gymnasium or over in a classroom or over in the theater or anywhere on that campus. So I would assume that other agencies and restaurants and folks around South Carolina would be under the same scrutiny. So that's where we are right now, Dr. Witherspoon. I'll be glad to answer any questions.
Okay, this doesn't conclude your report, does it?
It
It
I was
does.
going to close out, but
Close out,
I
then
do
we'll.
want, yeah,
Okay,
but it's up to you.
yeah, we'll come back to you, okay?
Okay.
Any questions at this time for Mr. Henry? Commissioner Weston, then Commissioner Devine.
I commend you very much for getting on top of that to make sure that we take care of those things for our children and for our staff at the particular schools. Could I ask that if they're going to be using pesticides and sprays, if they could possibly do it after school hours so that it won't interfere with the respiratory system of the staff and the students during the school day? Is that a possibility?
Absolutely. That is our criteria.
Okay. I just know that there were some issues with respiratory issues today. If you will take a look at that.
Be glad to check into that.
Thank you very much. Appreciate
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, Commissioner Devine, then Commissioner Harris.
Thank you. Just a few questions. You said, and I wrote this down, you were not notified from Sanders as to some of the conditions in the school. I don't want to get into processes because I think that's administrative, but do let me ask a question. As a former parent, we knew last year and year before last there were some issues at the school. Again, not getting to y'all process, but I guess I'm going to. Well, how does the school notify your department? Is that when the ticket is put in, or is there a new process? And if there is a new process, has that been explained at the school level?
Yes, sir. That's a yes, and a yes.
Okay.
Prior to the beginning of 2024, we had what was called pest sightings logs. And what our pest control company told us in reviewing and looking at what happened in the first quarter of 2024 is that they were not getting information quick enough. So in many cases, I would walk into a building and want to see the log, and I couldn't find the log. I walked into a building actually asking to see the log. After 15 minutes, we found it. Someone had taken the information out of the log, which was a nice white binder with the pest control's name on it, and put it into another binder because they wanted to use that particular binder. So what had happened was we were not consistent in getting the information to the people that needed information. So we stopped the logging, and we said that if anyone in any school has an issue, it needs to be brought to administration. So administration and my building coordinators can immediately submit a ticket, which we electronically send to our pest control company. And that does two things. That allows us to verify that there's an issue. It allows us to put the information in and have someone on site when the tech gets there to show him the issue. And it gives us an electronic means of getting it to the company in a very quick manner. We don't have to depend on folks seeing a log, not seeing a log, misplacing a log, not being able to find the person who wrote something in the log. So we cut that out altogether. So that is what we started at the beginning of this school year. So in this case, to answer your question, we did not have a ticket or anything issued of pest sightings at W.G. Sanders.
Okay.
So that's why I said we didn't know about it.
this is more for the superintendent. So with this new process, how is this cascaded to appropriate staff so they will know what the new process is? I know we had leadership, and I wasn't in the whole time. I did come parts of it. Was that part of the leadership for this year to explain from Department A to Department B as to what the new process is?
And there are monthly leadership meetings,
Okay.
if you will. There's actually one on Thursday.
Okay.
In 2 days from now. And this will certainly be cascaded yet again.
Okay. No problem. I don't.
And I did conduct 2 sessions at summer leadership regarding all of the processes we have.
Okay. All right.
Yes, sir.
Very good. Thank y'all. Appreciate it. I'm good. Thank you, Chair.
Commissioner Harris.
I have several questions. I think Commissioner Devine kind of answered some of mine. At summer leadership, were you aware that when they come in and do these inspections, it was the total building?
No, I wasn't.
So you've been made aware of that here recently?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so, and I know Dr. Witherspoon just mentioned that there's a session on Thursday that's coming up. So will our building coordinators in that meeting be explained to of what is now required, that it's not just the cafeteria, it's the entire campus, that they may need to go back and check their campuses? Have we, because that, in my opinion, personal belief, I think that's rather urgent to know that these changes are happening, because our state makes changes all the time and we get caught in the hook. Procurement codes changed in the middle of building an early learning center, and it shifted everything, and here again is a wonderful state change that, we are having these issues in regards to, you wasn't even aware of it. However, one of our colleagues had access to a report that I don't think, Superintendent, you had even seen it at the time. So, I mean, we've got to make sure that we get in front of this. I just think that, Dr. Witherspoon, that's my biggest concern is, as the State Department makes these changes and, if you get caught in the whim, you're on your own. They're not going to own what they've done, and I understand what they're trying to do. But I think it's just important that communication happens a little bit better than what is happening from them. You can make these changes to the health department, this, that, and the third, but I think it needs to be clearly communicated to school systems so that we know what we need to do on the front end. I know we are in the process of doing some building inspections or whatnot. We're getting ready to start that plan or whatever. But I think this is a little bit more urgent right now, being that, they can go into these buildings and cite something and then, hey, we walk the whole building and you cite a whole lot of things. There are 52 schools in this district. That's a whole lot of work to throw and thrust at Mr. Melvin Henry's staff all at one time. So I just think that we need to be a little bit more proactive, look at some of those immediate needs and address them as soon as possible. I just wanted to add that to the conversation. Like I said, Commissioner Devine asked a lot of the questions that I had, but I just think we need to shore up some things right now across the district when it comes to this new process. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
All right, Commissioner Myers.
I just got some question. Can you educate me on the process of DHEC came in and check out the kitchen, and then they check out the whole building. What information do they need for this? And after they give out the statement of some of the issues that need to be fixed, is it publicized to the public before you receive it or before the district receive it? Because I seen this statement on a social media page, the same exact form Ms. Weston had in her hand, PDF form, initial notes at the bottom of it, and I couldn't find it online. So how can it be publicized without the district, or, well, I'm not talking about district, I haven't seen it online. So can you talk about the process of after they come into the building, like how many days before they give you the information, how many days should it take before we have to clean it up, and what is the fine behind if we don't clean it up? And just educate me on this, because I am completely lost about this.
Yes, ma'am. I can talk about the previous, Tracy was in charge of that program. I can tell you what happened here in the last 2 weeks. SCDA came in, conducted the inspection. They spent several hours. The first inspection was 6 to 8 people, I believe, that scoured the site. Once they finished the inspection, I believe on that particular day that we're talking about, the report came out at about 5 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, something like that. And once the report is completed, I did receive an email. Tracy receives an email because it's under her program. And that is public information, and it's available on South Carolina Department of Agriculture website, which is where I guess it came from at the last meeting. So that has always been the case. Whenever DHEC completes a report, it becomes public information sometime that day or the next. So that is not a change. It's just a different website that you're going to review that report. South Carolina Department of Agriculture. It's public information. So once they complete the report, they come in, they take photos. We have someone walking with them to see what they are seeing as well, to verify. Then on this particular report that we're talking about, they can mark on the back of the report what their return time is. This is marked 10 days. Normally it's 7 to 10 calendar days, yes. So 7 to 10 calendar days for the return follow-up inspection. If they see anything that could be considered a, what they call CV, consecutive violation, that's where your grade starts to go down. So you could conceivably have a grade of 98, nothing wrong with the kitchen, never has been wrong with the kitchen, but you're going to get a B because something was found the next time that was on the first report.
Okay, and I also heard something about the funding, if I misunderstand, but she did say something about we could be fined a couple of dollars, $1,000 per day.
There is enforcement action, and it's listed on the report that they can refer the consecutive violations to enforcement action at their discretion.
And that's the second time they come out, the third time they come out?
Second time would be, if it's a repeat, it's consecutive.
Okay. And when you say 10 business days and the flood was here, can you give me an understanding what day is number 10? It's still 10 days, even though just give me an understanding what day is number 10.
So it is calendar days, not business days. So it's black and white. So if there are 100 items that we need to address, and we address 99, there is no good progress. It's a fail.
And may I please ask what date is the 10th date for Sanders Middle School? What the date? Like, we on number 10, we already passed 10 days since the inspection?
It's the latter part of this week.
All right, no other questions? Go ahead, Commissioner Lomanak, I got my question as well.
Thank you, Chairman Bishop. I just want to be clear. Did you just say that the administration did receive a copy of the document that was then posted to the Department of Agriculture site at the same time?
Yes, sir.
That's right? Okay.
Yes, sir.
I wanted to make sure, because it sounded like some people were suggesting that this document was, one, not public, and also not provided to the administration. But the administration...
Well, when you
didn't
say
have this
administration, it goes directly to Tracy Dixon.
Right.
Yes.
So y'all did get it. It's
Yes.
not, okay, what, hidden from you or anything like that?
Oh, correct.
Okay.
That's correct.
Thank you.
Thank you for everything you presented. This assessment, this evaluation, is it just for schools, or is it also for restaurants as well?
Park and rec, restaurant,
Park,
hotel.
everywhere.
Retail food service.
This is big. So this is bigger than the school district.
Yes, sir.
So when we walk into our favorite restaurant and you may see a B, even a C, or whatever, now you're very clear to what challenges every organization in our community is dealing with. So for those who are very vocal about so many items, this is your time to be vocal to that agency. I mean, if you heard what we heard, it's a lot. It's a challenge. And it's not just, what happens in our cafeterias, everything that happens throughout the whole school. That's why coaches are making these students clean up the locker room, right? Y'all know how student athletes can be, Coach Matt. They leave the locker room a mess. And so that could impact nutrition.
Staff.
Yes, ma'am. This is a shared responsibility of our entire organization, but then also let's do the shared responsibility of asking those critical questions to the agencies that are enforcing this. So thank you so much, because we do need to definitely do our best for our entire organization. No other questions?
Thank you.
Dr. Witherspoon, does this include your
Thank you,
superintendent's
Dr.
report?
Bishop. This does include the superintendent's report.
All right. Any other questions for the superintendent's report? Okay, Commissioner Weston.
Yes, sir. I remember that in a previous meeting, asked about the ombudsman's job description and how to handle those particular calls that may come in so that we could actually look at the accountant, and I didn't get an update on that.
Well, I think and we will verify this, Ms. Weaver Pouchet. I want to say the job description was sent previously.
Friday update.
In a Friday update, but we will follow up on that. And again, on the assignment of that is something we're looking into, and that was what was shared at last meeting as well.
And while we're looking at updates, could we get an update on pending lawsuits?
Yes, I want to say Attorney Richardson did send, I think, a few updates. Short answer, yes. And then she said a more comprehensive update was forthcoming. So I know she is working on that.
Okay, thank you very much.
As far as I want to just follow up on one of the questions, Dr. Witherspoon and Dr. Kumas, is it a common practice or a consistent practice that every time we do a hire of an employee or a position that we get a copy of the job description, or is this on the website?
No, I don't see that.
Yeah, go ahead.
You actually get a job description. It is the job description when we post it online for the job itself.
Yeah,
We use the job description in the job posting.
that's right.
So you can easily go to and look for the ombudsman in reference to the job posting if it's still there.
Okay,
We did provide a copy right after this was approved, the position, the job description, so.
okay. All right, thank you so much. All right, that concludes the superintendent's report. We'll now go to item 14, which is Office of the Board. Item 14.01, Board Report. Any board reports at this time will be coming from our commissioners that they do share some of the activities that they've been involved in, as well as something they would like to bring to public awareness about a policy or maybe a law or something that we feel that is, as a board, that is very important for everyone, our constituents, our staff, our students, to be aware from our desk. So at this time, this is the board report. Are there any board reports at this time from any commissioners? Okay. Seeing none, hearing none, I want to just say this before we go to the next one. I had an opportunity to go to RCPEP, a Richland County Parent and Education Program led by Alana Grant. It was a great opportunity to meet so many community partners who are interested into helping parents and engaging parents. So they want to report that. We'll now go to item 15, which is the adjournment. And we do want to make this announcement before we do adjourn. Item 15.01, the next regular meeting of the Richland 1 Board of School Commissioners will be held on October 22nd, 2024 at 7 p.m. at C.A. Johnson High School. With no objection, we now stand adjourned. Good evening.